Hello and welcome to another Royal Reviewer live pop-up chat. It's been a few days. Let's adjust the camera slightly. It's been a few days and I felt like we needed a little bit of a catch-up. So here I am. And the title of this video is Much Ado About Nothing. Very Shakespearean. Yes, there has been so much fuss over who has been visiting baby Sussex. Archie! I still keep saying baby Sussex, it's Archie. I'm going to give myself a fan flap. There we go. Every time I say baby Sussex, I'm going to give myself a fan flap. It's Archie. We need to keep remember saying baby Archie, baby Archie. But yes, much ado about nothing. There's been so much made of who's visited, who's not visiting, why people haven't visited, is there a snub? My goodness. Where do I begin? And there's also been... Where's my notes gone? I left them all the way over here. My goodness, I'm losing my mind. There's also been a big major hoo-ha in particular over William and Catherine visiting. And I've also seen this really outrageous story about Buckingham Palace having control over Harry and Meghan in terms of engagements and engagements clashing. So we're going to talk about all of that a little bit later. But before I start, I need to mist myself with rose mist, my rose mist spray, because it's been hot here in the UK. I have been out on the terrace all day, so I need to mist. Yes, and a bit down there as well. Yes, so I'm misting. It's been a very, very nice day. I'm wearing my small tiara today, and I want to go and say hello to everyone in the chat room before we get going. So let's just find the chat room and make sure it's on mute so that I don't have playback. Okay. Yes, so much ridiculous news, says Jan. I've just seen that comment. Right, I'm just going to say hello to everyone who's in the chat room. Yes, hello Sunshine. It was lovely today. It's been so good. Cynthia says, for God's sake, she gave birth last week. Exactly, my goodness. My goodness indeed. Marcelia says, you're showing off your toned body. Well, I need to be cool in the outside today, so I do have my little... It's got... Is it New York? Yes, I think it was New York. It's American, look. It's the American flag today. There we go. I'm flying the flag for the States today. I have shorts as well. Arnold says, Jessica... We'll talk about Jessica Mulroney, because I'm not so sure, and I'll tell you why. Kate says, what do you think about the fake... yes, I've seen that as well. Where's my fan? Literally. My goodness. Yes, before we go on to the other news, I will like to say, all this business about the baby being a doll... I mean, I'm speechless. I really am. You know, babies don't move in photographs. So the photograph of his feet, they are not doll's feet. They are just, it's a still image. They aren't going to be moving. When baby came out, baby was wrapped up. Baby was a newborn. He was less than 3 days old. He was sleeping. We saw his face. It's a real baby. It's not a fake baby. It's a real baby. And all these conspiracy theories are just doing my head in, and I think they originate from just a few places. And I actually think from YouTube they originate from. So there's a couple of, including Lizard Lady, there are a couple that are just perpetuating this, and also some of these tarot card reading sites as well, and channels. They're all perpetuating this notion that there's something up because we don't have the births. I mean, they're piecing lots of things together, which are mainly linked to privacy, but they're flipping it and turning it into a narrative of complete monstrosity of proportions. I mean, it's a monstrous proportions that baby is fake, and baby is not fake. It's just completely ridiculous. Yes, people are sick. Yes, massive black fan flaps. So no, it is completely fake. I mean, how on earth do people think that they're going to get away with having a fake baby when baby's expected to grow up? You know, are we going to get news that when Archie starts crawling and is toddling and eventually is on the balcony for drooping the colour, you know, a few years in the future, are these same people going to say that baby is a cyborg? You know, are we going to say that, you know, it's some sort of robot? I mean, I can see it now. Baby Archie is a robot. Yes, no, 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 no. It gets a black fan from me. So let's just park that one straight away. I'm not telling you who Lizard Lady is because she's horrendous. So I'm not going to say. Claire Green says, my little girl is just laughing about the way you're dressed. Can we not give airtime to such negative things? Well, I do try. I do try. But no, we're not naming Lizard Lady. And no, baby is definitely not a rubber doll. Right, now I'm going to talk about the main topic of this video, which of course was who has visited. So it is currently Wednesday, the 15th of May 2019, and Omid Scobie, who does seem to have quite good sources, and I do believe that he does have somebody, and I don't know whether it's... See, I think it's one of Harry and Meghan's friends that he has contact with, and I do think that this friend is speaking with... I think it's genuine, and I think it's been authorised by Harry and Meghan whenever this person, this friend, speaks to Omid. And I think that it's information that they kind of want to get out, but don't want to say themselves. So I believe that he does have somebody within their circle, a friend, because he does often quote a friend. Now, normally when we get a Royal Insider says, or Palace Insiders, or a source says, I normally go a big, because we are all wary about those. But it's a little bit different when someone actually says a friend, because it's a little bit more specific. And a lot of the information that he's had has kind of turned out to be true. So I'm going to tentatively go with it on this. And that is, he says, and I'm reading from his Twitter, sources confirm that Prince William and Duchess Kate will be meeting baby Archie for the first time early this week. Well, early this week has come and gone, so I'm assuming that they've already been. In fact, I did hear reports today that people in the media had actually seen them coming and going. So I think they've already been, and the visit may have actually happened today, is what I'm led to believe. Or it was yesterday, after their engagement. Yes, it may have been yesterday, after their engagements, actually. And he carries on that grandfather Prince Charles will be paying a visit in a few days. So as we know, Charles and Camilla last week, you know, they did the Germany visit, and now, of course, they will be visiting baby. So William and Catherine have been, and this is all what the big major fuss has been about William and Catherine not going straight away. And I think the reason why they haven't gone straight away is to give the family that little bit of space, a little bit of breathing room, which they wanted. That they wanted privacy, they wanted family time. They said over and over again, family time. And yes, it's nice to have visitors, and they did have visitors in that first week. I think also Harry and William's aunt, Lady Jane Fellows, Diana's sister, visited, I think, in the first week. We know that the Queen and Philip met baby Archie in the first week, obviously at Windsor Castle, on the same day that we got to see Archie. But Charles and Camilla, I think, are due sometime this week, and William and Catherine, I think, have already visited, possibly yesterday. But such a big fuss was made over it, my goodness. When really, I think they were just giving them breathing room. I think they were just giving them a little bit of space, a little bit of personal time that they wanted. Let's just see what people are saying. Little Now says, Tarot Yvonne, baby doll nonsense. That's just nonsense, totally. Don't even click on it. So yes, let me know what you think. I think William and Catherine were just giving them breathing room. A little bit of wiggle room, to be quite honest. And of course Doria was there, and, you know, sometimes when you've just given birth, I mean, I don't know, I've never given birth, but I'm assuming that when you've just gone through what Meghan's just gone through, you probably don't want all that fuss. You probably just want maybe just a few visitors, but you don't really want a big fuss. You probably just want to have some downtime with your unit, with your family unit. And I think that's the breathing room that a lot of the family did give them. So, of course, this week I think is mostly about visitors and also friends visiting. And there has been some talk today, in fact, about Jessica Mulroney, who is said to be on her way. Now, this is where I want to tentatively say, hang on a second. Because yes, I'm sure Jessica Mulroney, of course, will meet baby Archie, but we don't know when. Now, I've got her Instagram post up. And basically, it says at the time I'm reading it, packing for our first mother-daughter trip. Are matching shoes too much? Now, it doesn't say anything about exciting or excited. Now, I read in another article, let me try and pull it up, in the Daily Mail article, it says, Meghan's best friend, Jessica Mulroney, sparks rumours she's on her way to meet baby Archie, as she admits she's screaming with excitement ahead of a trip with her daughter Ivy. Now, in the post that I've just read on Instagram, it says nothing about screaming with excitement. It just says, packing for our first mother-daughter trip, which could be anywhere. Are matching shoes too much? It doesn't say anything about screaming with excitement. Now, because I got to this Instagram post a little bit later in the day, can somebody tell me, has this post been edited? Did she have screaming with excitement earlier in the day and then change it to what it reads now? Or has it always been packing for our first mother-daughter trip, are matching shoes too much? Because I don't know where the screaming with excitement has come from. Was it made up? Was it there originally? Was it taken away? I'm not sure because I didn't get to this post until literally about an hour ago. So, and this is what it reads presently. So can somebody let me know what it said? Because, you know, I think it's the screaming with excitement bit that people have latched onto, that they're excited about going to meet Archie, when it just says trip, and we don't know what that trip actually is. Now, you know, we can assume, we can speculate that that trip is to the UK to visit Meghan, Harry and Archie, and Doria, if Doria's still there, which I think she still is at the moment. But we don't actually know that, so we cannot confirm nor deny that Jessica is on her way. We're just going to have to wait and see on that one. I just thought I'd kind of point out that it doesn't say anything about screaming with excitement on there. So I'm thinking some of it may be a little bit of a lie or made up, but like I say, we'll definitely have to wait and see. Margaret says, there is no use in speculating what any new mother wants. Every woman is different. Yeah, I would agree. Mrs. BSN says there's a lot of fuss about their visit being announced. Seemed odd, others visited, but no big deal made. Well, again, with William and Catherine, it's all about this feud thing that's been going on in the press, which, of course, I don't believe a word of it, to be quite honest. Yes, I agree. Money, money, money to be made on Meghan Markle stories. Of course, Duchess of Sussex now. But no, I definitely don't believe any of the feud rumours, any of the fake baby rumours. It's all just a complete load of nonsense. Now, another story that I heard today, or recently, was that the palace is watching Harry and Meghan like a hawk because of embarrassing diary clashes, where they're trying to upstage, to make sure that they're not upstaging senior royals when they're on other engagements. Now, I have a humongous problem with this story, so I'm going to give it a fan flap right from the start, because I'm going to say right from the outset, I mean, how many working royals do we have now? We have the Queen, who is still obviously head of state, but you know, she still does engagements and functions and that kind of thing. Philip is no longer in the equation, so we can discount Philip. But we have Charles and Camilla, we have Harry, we have Meghan, we have William, we have Catherine, we have the Queen's other children, Princess Anne, we have Edward, we have Sophie, so the bug, SWAT, we have Sophie, we have Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, then we have the Queen's cousins. So, you know, already we are well above 10 working royals, easily. So there are bound to be diary clashes. You cannot just have one member of the royal family working on any one day, having one engagement, there are bound to be overlaps. And to be perfectly honest, there are so many charities that need supporting that actually we want them to be spread wide. We want them to be spread, with different organisations and charities. There are bound to be multiple simultaneous engagements on any given day. And the palace are not going to try and curtail this. The only thing I think we did see recently is when Charles and Camilla did go on the tour of the Caribbean, and especially when they were in Cuba, there wasn't really any major engagements planned back home in the UK, which may be a little bit of nod to the very, very, very important visit that was made to Cuba. So maybe if there's something that's like really, really big, they may try and kind of clear the diaries, give the other rules a few days off, maybe. But in terms of just every day, in the everyday, on a typical normal week, there are going to be diary clashes. Princess Anne is always working. The Duke of York's always working. Charles is always working. There are bound to be these things. And, yes, sometimes certain royals are going to get more media attention than others. And we did see an example where the media did moan a little bit about there being too much going on when Charles and Camilla were in Germany and Harry was also planning the Invictus trip as well. So he did kind of pull out, but I didn't know whether that was a little bit to do with kind of giving him a bit more time off when baby was here. But basically, if the media are moaning, they need to get more photographers, more royal reporters to cover the ground. There's more working royals. They need to adapt. The royal family does not need to do less work. If they can't cope with what's going on, they need to step up. They need to step up their game, to be quite honest. So no, I do not believe that the palace is watching to make sure that they're not, having engagements on certain days, trying to upstage people. It's just a complete load of nonsense. PJR says, you're practically naked. I am not. I am wearing a lovely New York scene, and I have shorts on. Look. Can you see my little bit of calf? Yes. I am. It's a hot day. I've been rose misting all day. Look. There we go. I smell beautiful like roses. Margaret says, any news on whether or not Meghan and Harry have a new home at Buckingham Palace? I did hear that story too. Now, this one may have a few legs because all the way through from when we heard that they were going to move to Frogmore, I said, I'm very doubtful that they will be giving up any kind of London base. And you can go back and check. I thought maybe they may even keep Nottingham Cottage on as a little London pad, but it seems like they have actually moved out of Kensington Palace entirely. So the Queen's other children do have royal residences, rooms or apartments in London. Princess Anne did have one at St James's Palace, but no, was it Buckingham Palace? And then I think she's moved to St James's temporarily whilst some of the renovations are being carried out. So the royals are a little bit dispersed at the moment depending on whether their part of the palace is being renovated or not. So, but typically there is at least some kind of provision made in London for the Queen's children, mostly at Buckingham Palace. I know the Duke of York, the Earl of Wessex does have rooms within Buckingham Palace. In fact, I think it's more towards the front of the palace, towards that front facade, although the Queen's apartments are towards the back of the palace overlooking the gardens. So, it depends what rooms are available. So, I think that story does have legs, but nothing has been confirmed and nothing is, actually out there yet. But I think it's reasonable to expect that they would have at least some kind of accommodation in London because lots of engagements do take place in London. And, with the best will in the world, yes, with a police escort, it's 21 minutes or something, that kind of time from London to Frogmore. But it may just be, on occasion, more convenient to spend a night or several nights somewhere in London. And I do think that at least some provision will be made in London, whether it's Buckingham Palace or whether it's St James's Palace or even rooms at Clarence House. I mean, I know that's Charles and Camilla's home, but hey, it's big, it's huge. So maybe even some rooms made available at Clarence House. But we do not know yet. But I do think that there will be some kind of provision made. So, good question. I do remember seeing that story. Um, let's see what people are saying. Oh, I agree, Paulette. When you put out bad karma, it will come back to harm you. So all these haters will get their fair share soon. I quite agree. OIM says, when are you sending your portfolio to Sussex Royal as a candidate to run their Instagram site? Oh, I'd love to. I'd do a pop-up on Instagram. No. I'm sure that they just want it to be, obviously, for their work. Jan says, I think after this visit, Mulroney will be phased out just like Meghan Markle has done to everyone else. No, I think Mulroney's been a friend for a long time. Someone will probably tell me how many years, but I think it's been a long-standing friendship. So I definitely don't think any phasing out with that one. Sandra says, Catherine's spotty dress she wore yesterday was the same one as Harry and Meghan's wedding guest and one of the suits actors. Yes, the polka dot dress was, and I forget the designer, I'm sure a fashionista might tell me, but the dress itself, I think, was based on one that Diana wore. And there is a photograph, I think Diana did an interview from Kensington Palace, and she was wearing a dress very similar with the white collar and the polka dot. The shade of blue was almost identical. The size of the polka dots was identical. Almost the length was pretty much identical. The only difference was it had a white collar, but Diana's collar obviously was of the period of the 80s, so it was a little bit longer. So I do think it's an updated version of that dress. And Diana still inspires fashion. You know, even certainly her 90s looks could totally still be worn today. You know, including her cocktail dresses and all that kind of thing. Even her day wear. I think her day wear could totally work today. But the 80s fashion probably needs a little bit of updating, and I think that polka dot dress was literally an updated version of that dress that she wore. Sandra says, yes, I agree. I was so pleased to spot it. It was Abigail Spencer. Yes, who wore the exact dress at Meghan's wedding. I just can't remember the designer. Tim says, I wonder if Harry and William would have met the same spouses if Diana would have still been alive today. I think so, because I don't think the education would have changed. So for William, for sure, I think he would have definitely gone on, obviously, to Eton. In fact, I think Diana was still with us when he had his first day at Eton. Because I remember him signing the register, and Diana was there. So he definitely would have stayed at Eton. And I think his interests in, you know, art and history and all that kind of thing would still have been the same. So I still think he would have gone to his Scottish university. So I think, yes, I think the path would have been the same, I think, for William and Catherine. In terms of Harry, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think he would still have had the girlfriends that he had prior to Meghan, which would have obviously led to eventually him seeking, I suppose, almost a different type of person, and he obviously ended up with Meghan. So I don't think that the path would have changed at all. I think they are fixed points in time. Misty says, seems like I saw a tweet from Buckingham Palace about press coverage and the logistics about being able to cover all of the royals. The media only has X amount of money to spend on travel. Well, they need to step up. I mean, it's step up or choose who you want to cover. You know, and they do not have limited money. They make an awful lot of money. If they want to cover the royal engagements, they need to step it up. And also, you know, as I've said before previously, the palace themselves, Kensington Palace, Clarence House, Buckingham Palace, can begin, now that they have such widespread social media, the Instagrams, the Facebook accounts, YouTube channels, everything, they can put out more of their own photographs, and it goes directly to the people. So I think the royal family themselves should be hiring their own photographers. And I would actually like to see photographers and videographers hired, maybe even from the Prince's Trust. You know, the Prince's Trust supports young people, disadvantaged young people, and it puts people through training programs. I bet there are so many talented, disadvantaged photographers, reporters, journalists, videographers, people that are amazing on the internet, people from different non non-represented ethnic backgrounds that are within the Prince's Trust that could be totally utilised within the royal family to produce their own media. And I think that is the way forward. And I personally would like to see that, because then obviously the palaces and all of that, they have control over how it's distributed, they have complete copyright over it. It would be so much better, and I would love to see some disadvantaged people from the Prince's Trust being given, trained up on just their skills and their skill set being utilised. I really would. So, media, typical media, step up or lose it. OAM says, I agree, one of the Obamas, this is... Oh, I think you were talking about something else. Vicky P says, that's a good idea. I would totally do it. Totally, 100%. Marie says, I think the palace should hire you to be their reporter. I'm waiting. They've got my PO box address. Send me an application form. Hi, Scott Goff. Marie... Oh no, I've read that one. Sam says, good idea about the royal family having their own media. I mean, look, how many is Sussex Royal on now? 8 million. 8 million followers. That's 8 million people that they can be putting their own content out to. Gone are the days when they had to solely rely on the print media to put out, to get the message across. Now people are actively searching, subscribing, sharing. The reign, that reign, that control that they had over them is slowly slipping away, and the media don't like that. And I do think that the royal family underestimate their own, what they can do themselves, their own output. I mean, like I say, you've only got to see Sussex Royal now has 8 million followers. That's huge. Oh, thank you to Kay Johnson, who's donated $1.99. Thank you. You get a Sunny fan flap. There we go. Thank you so much. Opal says it's a great idea. Yeah, and like I said, I mean, there are also lots of underrepresented people in society that are members of the Prince's Trust that could be, given a chance. Give people a chance, people. Alicia says all the royal houses have that. They do, but they don't necessarily, okay. I would probably say that the quality of the paparazzi type photographs is way better than any content that they do take themselves. What they need to do is get some really decent professional cameras, hire some some decent people that can take photographs from the Prince's Trust, and then put out good quality videos, high quality HD videos of the engagements. High quality, high resolution photographs. It can be done so much better than what it's being done at the moment. Hello to Debbie. Good luck. Kimberly says, hello, it's Zara's birthday. Oh, I forgot Zara's birthday. Happy birthday to Zara. I totally forgot. Mrs. BSN says, so true about the royal family having direct control of their message. Each post on Sussex Royal Instagram is informative and thorough. It would be a very good thing. Exactly. Live Love Now says, the royal family underestimate their power. They do indeed. They need to stop relying on mainstream media so much. Scott Goff wants me to be their online ambassador. I'd love it. Alicia says, I don't understand why trolls come to Harry and Meghan's videos just to hate. Oh, you're nobody these days unless you've got trolls. Vivian says, the Obamas for Godfather and Godmother are the best. We still have no idea, but I definitely think the Mulroneys are definitely going to be in there in terms of that. No news on christening. It's still too early. When will there be official pictures of Archie? Well, I mean, the ones that we've already had were official. So, I mean, do you mean just in terms of what they've taken themselves to put out? Probably round about christening, whenever that is, but it's not yet. Karen Love says, if they provided the birth certificate on the day of the baby's birth, there would be folk who would claim it was a fake certificate. Yeah, probably. But on the certificate front, I did check. Under UK law, any birth certificate is public. You cannot have it made not public. They are all public, and it will have to be made public. Or it can be requested to be obtained by anybody in the UK who pays something like £11 or £12 at 6 months. So if they choose to release it before then we'll get to see it. If not, it will be around about 6 months before the media will undoubtedly pay the £12 and request it. Sandy Pond says, why did Danny Baker make a racist comment about some days? Yes, I mean, this Danny Baker, he is a long-established UK, someone who's worked in the UK media for a long time, and he did post something he shouldn't have done. It was really bad. It was cruel. It was horrible. It was racial. It was racially motivated, and the real shame is that he didn't see that he'd done anything wrong at all, and he was called out on it. The BBC, obviously, who is taxpayer funded, did the right thing and sacked him. And it's destroyed his career. So someone made a comment earlier about karma. Well, there you go, karma in action. Oh yes, the royal wedding this Saturday. Lady Gabriella Windsor. The Queen will be attending. Oh, by the way, I need to tell you, I almost forgot. I'm not cancelling my live chat on Saturday. I'm moving it. I'm moving it to Friday. So it'll be Friday, 10 p.m. GMT. And there is a reason for this. And that is, it's Eurovision on Saturday. And forever and a day, as long back as I can remember, I always watch Eurovision. Eurovision is just, it's like, it's amazing. It's so bad that it's good, and I just love it. I always love to watch it. So I'm moving my weekly live chat, Talk of the Crown, to Friday night instead of Saturday. But I may choose to live stream me talking and commenting whilst watching Eurovision on my other channel, Elliot's British Life. So I still may go live on Saturday night, but it will be on my other channel, and it will be all about Eurovision. Let's have a look. Pat says, I've been busy reporting trolls off here at this moment. I'm absolutely astounded that people can be so vile. Yes, there are some bad people. Definitely. Eurovision party, yes. Sandy says, if royals be a patron or president of some organisation, did they get the No, they don't get any salary or anything. Alicia says, I love Eurovision. Are you having a Eurovision party? Well, if it's a party, it'll be a one-person party. It'll just be me. But you're more than welcome to join me. What's my other channel name? It's Elliot's British Life. Live Love Laugh says, Friday is a good day. Well, there you go. And I'll be wearing my new tiara. Hello, Kat. Hello, Rory. I did see a tail in the camera. Hello. How are you doing? OAM says, you're missing some good messages. I'm so sorry if I've missed your message. Hello to Cat Lady. I've just seen that you're here. No, I do not have air conditioning. In the UK, we do not have that many nice, hot, sunny days, so it doesn't warrant air conditioning. So most British homes do not have air conditioning. It's just the way it is. We don't warrant having air conditioning units. So you can buy portable ones. We did used to have a portable air conditioning unit, but the amount of time we used it was just like maybe once or twice a year. So we kind of got rid of it because it takes up space, and you know, in this part of the world, you just don't typically need air conditioning in your homes. For the most part, you need central heating. You know, pretty much, well, all British homes, you know, have central heating. We all have boilers and central heating because it's cold and wet and damp. Jenny Star says, I agree, Eurovision is so bad, it's good. Oh, it's terrible. The songs are appalling, the presenters are appalling, the outfits are crazy. It's as camp as Christmas. It's amazing. It's political voting in the voting part. Ah, it's to die for. JJSM213 says, whoa, no. Most British homes do not. Like stores and shops and retail units and that kind of thing, you know, yes, they will have air conditioning, but most British homes do not have air conditioning. We don't need it. The air conditioning is the window. We just open the windows. What is Eurovision? It's a singing competition for European countries and Australia. Yeah, don't even go there. Scott Goff says, last 2 days have been scorchers here in Edinburgh. Yes, we do occasionally have nice weather, but it just doesn't warrant central air conditioning. Alicia says, could you imagine the electricity bill if we had... Oh my goodness, they charge a fortune. It would be so expensive. Yes, Charles has been hosting a garden party today. Marcelia says, air conditioning in the UK, that place is cold and damp. Yes, exactly. We don't need it. Tim says, yes, I was always so shocked not seeing air conditioning there in the UK. It's too hot in America. Yeah, it's too hot for windows. My goodness. I don't know the temperature. I forgot. Let's have a look. Deb says, that's a good question. Do the godparents need to be of the Church of England? No. I researched this when it was it Louis' christening? I don't think you do. I remember someone saying no. I don't think you do need to be Church of England. Artist Victoria says, I can't live without air conditioning. Oh yes, I have my hand fan. This is all the air conditioning we need. Vivian says, thank you for your kindness and honesty. Let me just check. I'm going to check about the godparents thing. So look, do godparents need to be Church of England? There we go. Here we go. The Church of England does not distinguish between denominations. The only requirement for godparents is that they should have been baptised. So there you go. The only requirement is that they are baptised. So I was right in remembering that no, they do not. So Scott Goff has donated £5. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. There we go. Thank you so much. Right, what time is it? Right, I need to go. I'm like I say, it's 25 to 8 p.m. in the UK, so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get my tea ready. I need some food. I need something to eat. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. We've kind of covered lots of different kind of odds and ends in terms of royal stories. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, then please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media. Please make sure you are subscribed. Hit the notification bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. So from me,